Alright, Stellar Blade drama. Guys, Stellar Blade drama, guys. Anybody heard about this before? But first, before we talk about the drama, gotta look at the jiggle first. So people were saying that somebody was saying about the hair, is it? The hair wasn't swaying. I guess I'm seeing it now, right? A little bit. They changed the swimsuit. Apparently they changed 2 costumes. 2 costumes. PC mods are going to be insane. Too bad this game is only on PlayStation 5. Okay, so what is the drama all about? So the drama is, apparently, a lot of people are saying they are done with PlayStation and the censorship. I paid for Shift Up's version of Stellar Blade, not your censored version. Hashtag free Stellar Blade. You cancel your membership because you couldn't see video game cleavage. Don't pick up another controller. Wow. What people are missing is all this shit starts small, then gets bigger and bigger. Everything. Nazi started small, empires started small, censorship starts small, and now we have trigger warnings and movie edits, even from things that's been around for 80 years. Wow. So it's starting small, guys. So yeah, apparently the censorship is happening in Stellar Blade, even though they promised that there wouldn't be any censorship going forward. Even the developers have addressed it. Let me see if I can find the video. Some costumes are still good though. Like this one is still pretty good, right? Although, is it that big of a deal? Not really, but at the same time, I don't know. There are a lot of costumes in the game, but 2 of them were censored. Like this one is perfectly fine, right? So there was this particular one, yeah. So director of Stellar Blade responds to the censorship patch and says that there is an internal discussion regarding this issue. It is clear that the censorship was forced upon them by Sony, which is exactly what I say was going to happen. Okay, so apparently they didn't want to do this, right? They were being forced by Sony. It's something that Sony can't do, right? I mean, that's what it is, right? If you have your game being put on PlayStation 5, that's just what it is. So is there any thinking of rolling back to the version before the censorship? So this is the... Also wanted to ask you whether recognizing the issues regarding this. So this is Kim Hyung-tae himself. We also recognize about this issue. However, the final costume that we wanted to show you is indeed the costume in version 1.0.02. Okay, which is the final patch, right? The latest one. I want to clarify this is our final product. I know this answer is not enough to convince our user. There's an internal discussion ongoing regarding this. We'll have a chance to answer it soon. Okay, so that's the latest update from them, right? Most people know it ain't Shift Up fault. That's why they are still buying the game and cancelling their PlayStation Plus memberships instead. So yeah, I think that's a sentiment going around, right? Some players are saying that it is Sony that forced it upon them. But I can also understand why people are not happy, right? So that's why you can see posts like this. The hypocrisy of Sony is unreal. People are saying like Bloodborne has a lot of blood, but Stellar Blade apparently they censored some of the blood. I'm not too sure. That's one of it. I see this logic way too much from pronounced children. I'll try to break this down simply. All censorship is bad and should be opposed. There's no a little bit of censorship. It's a slow creep that always starts somewhere. It will eventually spread to things you like. Always does. So yeah, this is going to be something that you'll see being discussed a lot. Stellar Blade. Let's see if I can show some of it. So this was it, right? So you can see this is the original one. The original looks like this. So the cleavage here, they basically put that thing there, right? And then I think the hips, right? The hips here, they go and put this extra layer at the left and right. You can see a little bit there. So it looks a little bit different. Pronoun children. Japan censor games all the time. Why blame Sony? Because they basically address in previously here. They make a tweet. Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including the Japanese version. This was 3 days before they release the game. I know you're a Sony fanboy, I understand. You're a Sony fanboy, you're trying to argue. But Stellar Blade released this tweet. Why do you think they released this tweet a few days before the game release? Right? Why do you think? They shouldn't have made this tweet, right? If that's the case, if they are going to censor it. Clearly they released this tweet because they know it's going to be uncensored. And then after that Sony said, oh, we need you to censor this. So it's clearly Sony. It's clearly Sony. It's so obvious. It is so obvious. If it's them, they wouldn't have done this. Why would they tweet this, right? There's no reason for them to do this. There's a petition already. Petition? Marketing to sell more? This is not what I wanted to see. Stellar Blade was an obvious slam dunk. Sony censored it, doubtless. But Shift Up signed with them and then lied. They are responsible for that. My copy is on my shelf, trapped in plastic wrap, until they address this. Sending a truck, guys. They're sending a truck. Hashtag free Stellar Blade. Hashtag PlayStation. Okay? I'll go offline. But this was a necessary move on PlayStation part, especially last minute. Disconnect internet, install the CD, and play offline like me. As long as you don't connect to the internet while the CD is in, you are fine. It's true. In other countries, it's uncensored. If it's wrap up, you should return it. They only care that you buy it. They don't care if you play it. The physical copy is uncensored, but you must keep the console offline and turn off auto updates. Curse of being PlayStation exclusive and being Asian. Now that we have direct confirmation that it was redesigned, watch the narrative shift to Sony force him to do or say that. I mean, obviously he can't come out and say, oh, Sony forced us to do this. Like, come on. Are people this stupid? Really? Like, of course he can't say that Sony forced Shift Up to do that. If I was a director, I can't say that, right? I already signed contract with Sony. Obviously, no one will say that. Even if it's Sony that forced them, he's not going to say that. Come on. Are people crazy? Like, sometimes these arguments are so weird, man. Do people not know how these things work? Shilling for Dragon Dogma 2. The petition hits 100k signatures, they're gonna print it out and take it to Shift Up HQ in Korea. People are that stupid. I guess there's a lot of kids on the internet, so you can't blame them, right? There's no reason to keep it like that if you have already bought it, unless you are planning on making it collectible. If you really want to protest them, return the damn thing, cancel your PlayStation Plus subscription. Wow. I blame Sony for the censorship. Shift Up holds blame, which they were fully aware that the game will be censored via patch in a matter of days. Yeah, I'm not sure which country is censored though, for now, right? Gotta wait and see how it goes. Because if some countries are censored, some countries are not, then yeah. It's going to be... But I thought Sony is Japan, right? But then I also heard that they did move to somewhere in US recently. Game is still good. Yeah, the game is still good, obviously, but it does suck that this happens. Shift Ups are the best. Someone else forced them to censor character, also in Nikkei. You can see the ads of Nikkei with censor. Someone else forced them to censor character, also in Nikkei. Yeah, that's because when you put ads, you have to censor them. Buying a game because of Kuma bait. Of course, a lot of people buy that. So what's the other picture again? There's one more, right? This is one. This one looks the same to... Oh. There's less blood on Eve, is it? Okay. Wait, is there more? So this one... Oh, they added this thing. They added the stockings or whatever. Very interesting. Okay, how about Blue Monsoon Ocean Made Keyhole Dress. So this one are all fine. How are these all fine though? Damn. So what is this? Oh, this is how it looks like, and then they cover with one more black line upwards. Okay. That's pretty interesting. It happened with the ReZero collab. The company behind ReZero didn't want too much fan service. Probably, eh? So this is patch 1.0. This is patch 1.002. So you can clearly see, right, this part of the cleavage, you can see there's a white... What is that? Like a white underneath clothes at the cleavage section. So it is partial censorship, right? Without huge, how can investors cash in? They might not be able to. Wow. But you know what? This costume still looks really good though, to be fair, right? Yeah, the original one is like the best one. If you can't get it reversed, that won't stop them from re-reversing it later. Companies have shown that they are not afraid of censorship patches for games that have been out for years. The most pathetic part are the developers claiming this censored version is their original vision. It can actually be reversed if people actually take action. Grum on Twitter having a petition to Sony and Shift Up to undo the censorship on some of Eve's outfits. Sign and spread the word. The campaign needs you now. Free Stellar Blade petition. Okay. Sony is why I never got overly excited for the game in the first place. When you make a deal with the devil, you should not be surprised when he turns on you. Alright. Huh. Interesting. Sony doesn't mind Bestia. Whoa, chill, man.